Thanks for joining us on the CBN News Channel. I'm Charlene Israel. More and more celebrities and political figures are coming forward to announce they may have been hacked. It's a major attack that may reach all the way to the White House. Now authorities are trying to determine whether the information posted online is authentic and who did it. Dale Hurd has the story.
Those targeted are a mix of the powerful and famous, from Vice President Joe Biden to Beyoncé and Jay-Z, actors and politicians, even LA's police chief.
We will vigorously pursue the individuals that have made me a victim and have made a number of other people that are in the public eye victims.
And the website, which appears to originate in Russia, also posted the Social Security number and credit report of First Lady Michelle Obama. In an interview with ABC News, President Obama would not say if the information posted about the First Lady is authentic.
We should not be surprised that if you've got hackers who want to dig in and devote a lot of resources, that they can access people's private information. It is a big problem.
Right into the White House.
And again, I'm not confirming that that's what happened. You've got websites out there right now that sell people's credit cards that have been stolen.
Law enforcement officials are trying to determine how much of the information on the website is authentic and how it might have been obtained. But that's a tall order.
It is a very difficult endeavor. You know, many of these sites are not in the boundaries of the United States.
Cyber crime and cyber warfare have become a huge problem, and the Defense Department is establishing a series of cyber teams to protect the nation from a steady stream of attacks, many of them emanating from China. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
The Dutch government has raised its terror warning to the second highest level, saying there's a substantial possibility of an attack. Dutch Muslims have been traveling to Syria to fight in the civil war, and officials say those jihadi fighters could return battle-hardened and more radicalized. The government also sees signs of increasing radicalization among Dutch youth at home. The voting is underway in the Catholic quest for a new pope, but so far, no success. Many Catholics hope for a man who can tackle the church's past problems while preparing it for the future. Chris Mitchell has more from Vatican City in Rome.
Even in the digital age, 115 Catholic cardinals communicate by smoke signal. So far, the black smoke rising from the Sistine Chapel tells the world it must wait for another round of voting. Here in Vatican City, there's an air of expectation of when the cardinals will reach their decision and who the next pope will be. If history is any judge, it may not be that long.
I don't think it'll take more than 2 or 3 days at most. We haven't had a conclave go over 5 days since 1831. So if they go more than that, then we know they have a problem, that they're having a difficulty, coalescing around someone.
Many Catholics we talk to here are more concerned about overall church leadership than who becomes pope.
We expect a good leader in this age where there's a crisis about faith.
I think they've probably lost a bit of vision in the future, so perhaps this one needs to just give us the right direction.
I think the election of a new pope is, in a way, a reflection of the direction the church is going to go in and what the cardinals are thinking.
Father Thomas Rees, author of Inside the Vatican, says the church needs to confront one of its most serious problems.
We have to acknowledge, too, the sex abuse crisis has been a terrible thing in the Catholic Church, especially for these children that were harmed. And the American bishops are very strong that any pope that they want to see elected is going to have to, support zero tolerance for abuse in the church, that any priest involved in sexual abuse has got to be thrown out, got to be dismissed from the priesthood.
How the church and the next pope confront this issue and the other challenges facing it remains to be seen. But the world will be watching. The papal conclave is attracting worldwide attention. More than 5,000 accredited journalists have come to Rome to cover the story, and their reports will reach nearly every place on the globe. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Vatican City, Rome.
The House is voting on a bill to prevent welfare waivers. The bill would block the Obama administration from waiving any work requirements in the 1996 welfare reform law. House Republicans say the president is trying to gut those requirements. Democrats claim Republicans are distorting the goal of the waiver program, which is to more effectively place more welfare recipients in jobs. The bill has little chance of passing the Democratic-controlled Senate. An all-out budget battle is brewing on Capitol Hill. House Republicans have released their blueprint to balance the budget in 10 years. Democrats are unveiling theirs today, setting the stage for a prolonged fiscal fight. Congressional correspondent John Jessup has more from Capitol Hill.
Republicans and Democrats say budgets are about priorities and offer competing visions for the country. This is the latest vision for congressional Republicans, the 2014 House Budget Resolution. It focuses on cutting spending to balance the budget. But Democrats say any resolution that passes Capitol Hill will have to be balanced, not only cutting spending, but raising revenues. This week's budget theme on Capitol Hill could easily be "Show me the money." For Republicans, though, they're more interested in "Show me the savings." House Republicans rolled out their 2014 budget, which erases $4.6 trillion and balances the budget by 2023.
We believe that we owe the American people a balanced budget. We can't just keep spending money we don't have.
The Ryan budget relies on several working assumptions: that Congress will overhaul the tax code with only two tax brackets, 25% and 10%, and a corporate tax rate of 25%. It would also wind down mortgage brokers Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and include welfare reform and significant changes to Medicare, which Democrats say would hurt seniors. It would also rewage a failed battle repealing the president's health care law.
We don't think we can afford to borrow $1.8 trillion in extra spending this law entails. We think we can replace it with a better healthcare system.
Democrats call the budget a hoax, claiming the Republican plan includes savings from Obamacare that cannot be achieved if it's repealed. The White House says Ryan's math just doesn't add up.
In order to lower the rates the way that he proposes, there is no way to do that in a revenue-neutral way without raising taxes substantially on middle-class families.
In the heat of the looming budget battle, President Obama met with Senate Democrats one day before they released their first budget in nearly 4 years. Democrats say their approach is balanced and includes raising taxes on the wealthy, an idea that is dead on arrival in the GOP-controlled House. Ryan's budget plan balances the federal budget quicker than his previous versions by using political points from the president's scorecard, relying on President Obama's higher revenues that he got from increased taxes in the fiscal cliff deal. John Jessup, CBN News, Capitol Hill.
Do you enjoy doing your taxes? If not, you may not like applying for benefits under the president's health care plan. Critics say the process is just as lengthy and complex. A draft of the application runs 15 pages for a family of 3. The online version has 21 steps, some with additional questions. Proof of identity and income will be required, and applications will be checked by 3 federal agencies, including the IRS. More than 4.3 million applications for financial assistance are expected in 2014. The new coverage starts January 1st. The Boy Scouts of America is surveying its members to determine their views on homosexuality, gay leaders, and allowing gays to camp with children. The 13-question survey sent to 1.1 million adult scouts asked them to share their views on the impact of banning or allowing gay members. It also includes hypothetical situations, such as whether it's acceptable to allow a gay troop leader to sleep in a tent with a heterosexual boy. Scouts spokesman Darren Smith says the organization is in a listening phase as it struggles with a decision whether to lift its ban on gays. A measure allowing civil unions for gay couples in Colorado is on its way to the governor's desk. 2 Republicans broke from party lines to pass the bill. The measure is expected to quickly be signed into law. 7 years ago, Colorado voters approved a measure banning gay marriage in the state. A federal appeals court ruled in favor of a Pennsylvania 5th grader who wants to distribute invitations to a church party at her public school. The panel upheld a lower court's decision, which said the student can take the invitations to school based on her free speech rights. The appeals court says the law is still evolving, but the invitations are allowed because they won't cause a, quote, substantial disruption. Coming up, 10 bands, 47 cities, and thousands of Christian youth. But Winter Jam is more than just a concert. It's changing lives.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
Winter Jam is Christian music's biggest annual tour. The tour covers 47 cities and hosts some 10 bands. Tens of thousands of youth flock to the event every year. This year's featured speaker, Nick Hall, says that the event is not just about great music, and he joins us now via Skype. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
So glad to be here.
Now, this year's tour is winding down. What's it been like on the road?
You know, it has been a marathon. We've gone through about 33 cities, and we've had, as you said, tens of thousands every night. I think we're over 400,000 people now have been out on Winter Jam this year. And it's been amazing. I mean, the bands are incredible. The crowds are incredible. And more than any of that, God has been moving every night. Lives have been being changed. Mm-hmm. And we're just seeing people be set free from all different things. And we're lifting up Jesus. That's what it's all about.
So you're actually evangelizing at the event. You're talking about the gospel, and you're seeing a huge impact on some of the young people there. Talk about some of the stories that you're hearing coming out of this.
I have these reset trash bins, and I invite people and I say, hey, what is it in your life that's hindering you, that's holding you back? I'm giving them a chance to have a moment and literally just let go of it. And they're writing stuff down. Every night, kids are writing down things like pornography, self-harm, just all kinds of deep issues. But it gets really profound. In fact, just last couple days ago, a girl came up to me after the event and she said, Nick, you were talking about doing self-harm, and I didn't know Jesus before I came here tonight. I really felt him tonight, and I gave my life to him, and I carry with me a razor blade that I've been using for self-harm. And she came and handed me that razor blade right there, keeps it in her pocket. And we've had kids come and give us, abortion appointment cards, all kinds of things. I mean, it's really been intense. These kids are wound up in all kinds of issues, but God is literally setting them free.
Talk about the feedback that you've received once you've moved on from one city. Perhaps people will email you or contact you later on to talk about what's happened in their life.
We have people text in their response at the events, and that gets them signed into a 7-week email devotional. It also gets them logged into just some encouraging texts. But then finally, it gets them connected with live people. Even in the arenas, people are texting back and forth from different parts of the country with kids that have questions about their faith. So beyond the event, we're seeing people stay connected and continue to grow in Christ. Obviously, every day my social media accounts are filled with messages from people of all ages that I'm able to encourage, and we have a whole team of people at Pulse that are doing that. But the really cool thing for me is that these people at the events, they're getting connected with these what we call digital counselors. And then they're able to journey together the process of discipleship, where a lot of these kids, they're not comfortable with a one-on-one conversation, but over their phone or over their social media, they'll open up completely. We had one girl in West Virginia that came to know Christ at our event there. She got discipled by a person down in Texas, messaging back and forth, started finding out she was struggling with different kinds of addiction, and was able to look on Google Maps, find out that where she lived was 2 blocks away from a church that was a Bible teaching church that was starting a Celebrate Recovery group that week. And literally that Sunday she went to Winter Jam, and Wednesday she started Celebrate Recovery, again, all over the internet, and then goes to Celebrate Recovery in person. Now she's completed Celebrate Recovery and is growing in her faith.
We understand that you're going to broadcast a live webcast. Tell us real quickly about that.
Yeah, the last night of Winter Jam, we're going to have the opportunity, and people can hop online to jamtour.com, find out about it. And the last night from San Antonio, Texas, it's going to be going around the world. And it's going to be a huge, huge thing. All 10 bands, people can tune in to watch Toby Mac, Red, Jamie Grace, and hear the gospel. So we encourage people to tune into that.
Excellent.
And it's going to be a really exciting opportunity for people to be a part of what God's doing.
It's exciting, Nick Hall. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you and all that you're doing.
Hey, so glad to be here, and big fan of what you guys are doing as well.
Up next, a personal interview with the wife of Saeed Abedini. See how this mother of 2 is coping with her husband sentenced to 8 years in an Iranian prison.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Saeed Abedini made headlines around the world when he was sentenced to 8 years in one of the worst prisons in Iran because of his Christian faith. Here in America, his wife has also been suffering along with their 2 children. Wendy Griffith sat down with her for an exclusive interview about her love for her husband and her ongoing fight for his freedom.
Their love story began in Iran. Naghmeh, an American citizen since early childhood, believed God was leading her to return to her homeland in 2001 to minister to Muslim women. That's where she first saw Saeed Abedini. The young preacher was leading worship at one of the underground house churches he helped form.
What made you fall in love with him?
His passion. I think as a young woman, I always prayed. I said, Lord, I can't marry someone who's mediocre. I want to marry someone who is passionate for you. But I I mean, I had no idea how he would answer my prayer. I had no idea it would be so radical.
Not long afterwards, the two married in Iran. Their wedding drew hundreds of well-wishers and aroused the suspicion of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard.
Our wedding, our union was a miracle because we were both Muslim converts and they allowed us to have a Christian union. Bibles were passed out, Jesus film videos were passed out, and many people came to know Christ, hundreds.
Well, it takes a special bride to be able to be willing to share her big day.
Jesus shined, which made me happy. Yes, I mean, you imagine that day it's going to be all about you, and it wasn't. It was just a big, I mean, it was amazing. It was what we both would have wanted for a wedding.
But 9 years and 2 children later, 4-year-old Jacob and 6-year-old Rebecca, Naghmeh is now living her worst nightmare. Last July, during one of Saeed's routine trips to Iran to establish a government-approved orphanage, he was detained and put under house arrest. Then, in January, the Iranian Revolutionary Court's so-called hanging judge sentenced him to 8 years in Iran's brutal and deadly Evin prison. His crime? Preaching the gospel. In these photos, you can see men hanging outside the prison, an attempt to bring even more terror to inmates and family members.
Just the name really scared me. I've had, during the revolution, people who we knew and also family members who were hanged in that prison and killed and abused and raped.
Before he was sentenced, Saeed could Skype with his family. Now they have no personal contact, only reports and letters from family members in Iran. The latest telling them that Saeed is being tortured and pressured to renounce his Christian faith.
I said to myself, they don't know who they're dealing with. Saeed came from a very radical Muslim background, and he's very, since he accepted Christ and his life changed, he was very committed. Doesn't matter what beatings he goes through. It doesn't matter if they say we're going to kill you.
As a wife, what's been the hardest part of all of this for you?
The Lord has given me grace to go to his presence and just get my comfort. But as a mom, it's just every time it's like a stab in my heart when I see them struggling and I can't do anything about it. My son is his character has changed 100%. Since the arrest, he won't talk as much. He's very reserved. And then my daughter, she just cries a lot. What does this say?
I miss you, Dad.
And these are your tears?
Yeah.
Naghmeh admits at first she sank into despair.
I was in the edge of extreme depression and anxiety and worry. And I could see that where I was almost being broken, I would have had to check myself in, but the Lord didn't let me break. I clung to him and I cried out to him. I said, Lord, in Philippians, you promised you will give peace beyond understanding. And he gave me that peace. And so the scripture is true. I just want people to know that if they cling to him and believe in his scripture and just don't let him go, hold on tight, he's going to get you through whatever it is.
In the meantime, the American Center for Law and Justice is going full throttle with both a legal and media campaign. Jordan Sekulow says publicity could be a lifesaver for Saeed, just as it was for Iranian pastor Yusuf Nardakhani, sentenced to death for his Christian faith. But late last year, thanks to a major publicity and prayer campaign, Nardakhani was freed.
What's the chance that Pastor Abedini will walk out of Evin prison?
The only chance is people speaking out. Chance-wise, surviving one day is not a great chance, honestly. You can be beaten to death by the guards. You can be beaten to death by a fellow inmate. If the story is talked about, people don't get beaten as badly.
The good news, people are talking. Nearly 500,000 people have signed the Save Saeed petition on the ACLJ's website.
In September of 2012,
and Christian musicians are also speaking out on his behalf.
Help us share his story. Sign the petition at SaveSaeed.org.
So help me God.
Secretary of State John Kerry promised to work for Saeed's freedom, but has made no public comment on the matter since he was sworn in. Naghmeh says she believes prayer, not government, will free her husband.
Do you believe you'll see him again?
I do, you know, it's the flesh versus the spirit. My flesh wants to say he's not going to survive that prison. But when I pray, I feel like the Lord, he's a God of hope, and he tells me that it's at his time he will release Saeed.
You can find out how you can help Pastor Saeed by going to our website at cbnnews.com. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The game show of biblical proportions is back with more action, more fun, more stars, Kirk Franklin, Mary, and more nuns.
The nuns just whooped you, man.
The American Bible Challenge Season 2 premieres Thursday, March 21st at 9/8 Central, only on GSN. Visit GSNTV.com to find GSN in your area.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
The game show of biblical proportions is back with more action, more fun, more stars, Kirk Franklin, Mary, and more nuns.
The nuns just whooped you, man.
The American Bible Challenge Season 2 premieres Thursday, March 21st at 9/8 Central, only on GSN. Visit GSNTV.com to find GSN in your area.
Finally, a New York woman is finally living out her dream decades later. Miriam Wanaker has always had a love for dance. It started as a young girl after watching stars like Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire on the silver screen. Now, years later, the 88-year-old has decided to take up competitive dancing.
I saw my first movie with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and I was hooked. Your body is your vehicle. And like any vehicle, if you don't use it, the battery dies and it rusts. I don't think of myself as being unique.
Well, Miriam has always seemed to be a late bloomer. She failed out of high school, but went back later when she was 40. And after 35 years of study, she graduated with a doctorate in communications. Never too old to go back, definitely. Well, that's going to do it for the CBN News channel. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. We hope you'll join us next time. Have a terrific day. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com.
Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. Click and read a commentary. Or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.